Alright guys, so welcome back to another Hypixel SkyBlock video. So, as you can probably tell, I am currently wearing a full set of Necron armor. So I did actually obtain a set of Necron armor for myself. It's all full ancient, recombobulated, 5-star and everything. And there have already been videos talking about the armor set and showcasing it and stuff. But what I want to do today is actually do a comparison type of video, as well as give you some tips on how to use this, and we're actually going to talk about whether this Necron set is actually worth getting. Now really quickly, before we do get into it, my Discord server is going to be hosting an event this weekend. There's going to be 24 million coins total in prizes, so I recommend you go join up there. The link is in the description, and while you're at it, if you could drop a like on the video and maybe subscribe, that'd help me out greatly as well. Alright, so first things first, if we're going to actually compare these armor sets, we obviously need to see how much damage we're going to do in each, as well as what our stats are in each. Now quickly, before I actually do that, I just want to talk about, there is obviously a massive price difference between these two sets. That's why we need to discuss whether the Necron armor set is actually worth getting. So this Shadow Assassin set, it's upgraded, it's recombobulated, 5-star, it pretty much has everything ancient. I believe this is currently worth around 80 to 90 million coins. Whereas with the Necron set, it's got all the same stuff except it's not upgraded because it can't be upgraded. It's all the same stuff though, and this is worth about 300 to 350 million coins. So obviously there is a very big difference in obviously in that regard. So now we need to figure out whether it's worth it and who it would be worth it for. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually go ahead and get in some damage tests. One thing I do want to point out first is, okay, so I'm going to start in Shadow Assassin, and for a pet, I'm going to go ahead and just use this Griffin pet. So first of all, 196,000, 197,000, that's how much damage I'm doing. But the thing I wanted to point out is Tarantula Helmet. A lot of people don't realize this, but Tarantula Helmet is actually a better option than the helmet on quite a few of the good sets, and this includes rather, both Shadow Assassin as well as Necron armor. So if we go ahead and attack now, see 115,000, almost 116. So yeah, that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind. Again, the same is true with the Necron armor, but I'm not going to be actually doing damage tests with it, just so there's no confusion, and also so that we can allow for the full set abilities to take their course. More so, the one on Necron armor it's really not that good, but with Shadow Assassin it is actually pretty good. So again, in the full Shadow Assassin we were doing 197,000, 198, right? And now if we go ahead and switch ourselves over to the Necron armor, we're going to go ahead and deal 212,000. Yeah, pretty much 212, almost 213,000 with the full Necron. So it is obviously better, and by a decent amount as well. And by the way, just in case you're curious, the Tarantula Helmet with Necron armor is 228,000 damage. So yeah, Tarantula Helmets are good. And that is actually a pretty important thing when you're talking about Necron armor, because it is quite a bit cheaper than the Necron helmets. But that's up to you if you want to use it, because you are a little bit, it's not a lot, but a little bit more squishy when you use the Tarantula Helmet. Now the reason for the difference in damage is the fact that Necron armor has 10 more strength per piece than Shadow Assassin does, and it also has 5 more crit damage per piece than Shadow Assassin does. Now to actually compare the effective health on each one, I'm going to go ahead and take out a Yeti pet, and we'll start in Necron armor just because that's what I'm in. So, and I'm also holding a Flower of Truth, by the way. So that is 47.6 thousand. And if we actually go ahead and switch into the Shadow Assassin, we are going to have 43.4 thousand. So it is a good bit more EHP as well. And in dungeons, again, that becomes a bigger difference, especially when you're talking about floor 7, because when you wear the full Necron set, each piece gives you a 10% resistance to wither damage, so that's 40% total, and well, it's pretty good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to run a floor 7, and I'm going to get my party to leave one room for me, do all the other secrets, and then that way I'll be able to damage test at the end of the dungeon pretty much with almost all the secrets, and do a comparison that way. And for most of the dungeon, I'm actually going to go ahead and run in the Shadow Assassin armor. That way we give it a chance to build up its full set bonus a little bit. Alright, so we are pretty much at the end of the dungeon here, so I'm going to go ahead and do my damage testing. So actually, let me go ahead and start in the Shadow Assassin. So 9.7 million damage right there. 17.9. Okay, that first one I think was just really low. Alright, here's some more mobs. 12.2, 17.8, 20.2, 20.7, 15.9, 19.9. Alright, so I think that's pretty good tests for the Shadow Assassin. So now if we go ahead and switch to the Necron, 22.8 almost. Oh, these are two. Ooh, those were those were skeleton masters. I didn't even get to see the damage, but that last one was 20.4, 17.3, 19.8, 19.5. So the damages do seem to be pretty similar. The Necron might be a bit higher. The highest hit I saw on Necron was higher than the highest hit I saw with the Shadow Assassin. So either way, they are both really solid sets for damage. Where the Necron set starts to shine a lot more, though, is especially on floor 7, is its survivability. So it has more survivability overall than Shadow Assassin, but not only that, on floor 7, well, it's a lot more survivability due to the fact that you get the 40% wither reduction. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm perfect because I'm far from it when it comes to deaths and stuff. You know, I'm not a perfect player and my kata level isn't super high. But this set definitely does help me out a lot. And one other thing that you could possibly do is pretty much everyone has been having to use tank sets on floor 7 here. However, I believe there is a possibility that if you are to get your catacombs level high enough and you wear full Necron armor, I do think it might be possible that you wouldn't have to actually use a tank pet. Especially something like Wither Skeleton, it does have the reduction on damage from withers. However, I'm pretty sure that this is currently bugged, but at the same time it's also a good damage pet, so this would be a really good pet to be able to use. Again though, I think it is currently bugged. Another thing is, personally, I'm going to be trying to get a Valkyrie sword, and if anyone out there is also going to be trying to get that, being able to use a tiger pet would be a massive thing. So if this set was good enough, once you get a high enough catacombs level to be able to survive while having a tiger pet, that would be really good, because with a Valkyrie and a tiger pet, I'm pretty sure you can get almost 200 ferocity, which is amazing because that's like triple your damage. So to answer the question of whether or not the set is actually worth it, I say it really just comes down to you know, what kind of player you are and what stage of the game you're in. Obviously, if you can't even afford the set, it's not right for you. You know, you can use Shadow Assassin or the Shadow Assassin replacement, where you use like Zombie Knight chestplate. I think that's what this guy is using. Yeah, Zombie Knight chestplate. If you can't afford it. Full SA is also good though, and full Shadow Assassin can also be pretty much, I mean, it's close to as good as Necron armor as far as in dungeons, especially with the full set bonus. However, it just doesn't quite have the survivability that Necron has. If you're running a lot of floor 7s, and you need to be able to survive, I definitely would recommend getting the Necron armor if you can afford it, because, well, it's a lot more survivable. And if you just want the overall best set in the game, the Necron armor is definitely it. Like Superior, for example, it's better than Superior in pretty much every way. I mean, it's more damage, it's got more HP, it's more everything, except it doesn't have the advantage of the extra magic find, but, you know, I mean, people are kind of already ditching Superior for Shadow Assassin anyways, so. So if you are one of those people who doesn't really need it right now or just straight up can't afford it, obviously as time goes on, the price of it will drop as well, the armor sets. So, you know, maybe in the future this may change, maybe it may be more accessible to more people in the future, but yeah, as of now, I'd mostly recommend it to people who are, like, they just run a lot of floor 7, or they just really want to have the best armor set in the game. Personally, I will definitely be keeping the armor set. However, I do run it with a tarantula helmet since it does provide me with more damage, and while the full set bonus is really nothing to speak of, it's not really that good. Yeah, obviously I'm a little bit more squishy this way, but I still survive fine, so yeah. Plus, it's a lot cheaper than the helmet, so I can sell the helmet and get a lot of my money back. So yeah, I guess that is going to be about it, guys. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like, consider subscribing if you are new to the channel. As well as that, join my Discord server, the link is in the description. We're giving away all that money with the event this weekend, so extra reason to join. Yeah, you can also follow my Twitch and Twitter, those are down there as well. Gotta get all the plugs in. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
I don't believe in destiny, I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies, they're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy, you gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me, you ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know, better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my